would like to thank our amazing sponsors, Touring Plans Travel. Their destination specialists work with you to plan and book your trip, whether you're traveling to a theme park, headed out on a cruise, or wanting to get away anywhere in the world. As experts in smart travel, their agents suggest the best itineraries and activities to fit your family's needs, and handle all the reservations on your behalf. There is no cost to you or your family when using Touring Plans Travel services, and you may even save some money if discounts become available after booking. So head over to touringplans.com/travel and tell them Rope Drop Radio sent you. Now, on to the show.
Helping you navigate the Disney parks.
With the hope that it will be a source of joy and inspiration to all the world.
You're listening to Rope Drop Radio.
Welcome to another Rope Drop Radio. Derek and Doug talking all things Disney, and sometimes, Doug, things happen at Disney that just completely steer our plans. Like, we're going to do this thing, and it's either shut down, or the line's ridiculously long, or we're at a Halloween party, and literally we shut off like half the attractions, Doug.
That's what you do. Or your 4-year-old just says, no, not doing it.
Not doing it.
No.
Or they have to go to the bathroom. All sorts of things happen, and you have to just change your plans on the fly. And so we have a bunch of topics that we're going to be discussing today with an amazing special guest. So it's going to be a really fun show. Looking forward to it. But first, we have a couple things we need to cover. First, Doug, we're going on the Star Cruiser together again.
We will be cruising on May 31st. So if you're looking to cruise, there's a few cabins left. You can do that. You'd probably be the opposite dining from us because that fills up. But we'd still see you around the ship and have a good time. But we will be trying to plan a meetup the evening of May 30th. So if you're looking to plan a trip and want to meet up May 30th, no details on what, when, or where. We'll get there.
But we'll be there.
May 30th will definitely be somewhere in the parks, celebrating something exciting.
And good news, I renewed some annual passes today, Doug. So I will be continuing to go to Walt Disney World at least for the next year.
I'm going to renew mine tomorrow.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
Wow,
Yay.
Disney is making some money off of us. So there you go.
Yeah.
Good job. All right, now spend some money
it's still a deal, though, compared for how many days I go. It's
true. Very
still a
true.
deal.
People who ask us about that, yes, the AP for Doug and I is totally worth it. So also, it's worth it to all of our Patreons who I know are going to the parks quite a bit and having fun. And we have a new one, Rachel Drews. Thank you so much for joining the Rope Drop Radio community, getting the after show and all the fun things that are happening, and our Facebook group, which is pretty awesome with asking questions and all the fun things. So thank you to all of our Patreons for helping grow the show.
All right. Thank you, patrons, and thank you to those that leave Apple Podcast reviews. Yes, we are way behind. This one comes from August 9th. I wear that as a badge of honor that we're way behind.
That is good, because one time we ran out. Yeah.
Before, and it's so sad. I cried actual tears.
You begged on the show.
Oh my
it was
gosh.
embarrassing.
And now, so now keep leaving them. Hopefully we'll never catch up. But here it is. You guys rock. 5 stars by Dancers Love Disney. Just got back from our week-long first-time Disney trip, and it was amazing. The show and Michelle helped us to be able to master the parks and Genie Plus. Our park experience would have been a lot more different and stressful if it wasn't for this podcast. Thanks, and keep up the good work.
I like it. That's a great
review.
one.
And I know a lot of people are really negative about a lot of the changes in the park, but for first-time people, they don't know the difference.
They don't know
we gotta
anything.
Prepare them.
We do.
And everybody just being more prepared makes it more enjoyable, and that's a perfect example. So thank you for that review.
Thank you so
Hopefully
much.
That helps.
Also, I love the name Dancers Love Disney, because my daughter is at competition dance as we speak, and she loves Disney. So there you go.
There you go. All right. Well, today we're going to welcome on a guest to help us get another perspective as we play a new game. We've never played this before, titled
New Game Alert.
Yep. If not this, then that. Magic Kingdom edition. This guest is no stranger to the show. She's been on several episodes, including episode 67, 102, and 176. One of those is about the 25th anniversary of Animal Kingdom and has some fantastic stories. So we're going to welcome back a former Animal Kingdom cast member, Ohio native, but a Husker fan and lover of themed trash cans, Debbie Raises. Welcome to the show.
Hey guys, thanks for having me back.
Yes,
Hopefully
welcome
that
back.
Intro lived up to expectations.
That is all factual information about me, yes.
All facts this time. Sometimes my facts aren't always facts, which is a fun fact about my facts. Anyway, just bring everyone up to speed. Give the rope droppers a little bit of your Disney background.
Yeah, so I was a cast member for Disney's Animal Kingdom in 1998, the summer that it opened. I worked on a now extinct attraction called the Discovery Riverboats, where I met my now husband. We live in Tampa. He's a cast member. We get to go to the parks often. We like all things cruises, theme parks. We were pretty fortunate to get to all the parks around the world before COVID. So that's been fun, and we just love all things Disney.
All right. I think that sums it up excellently. So, on to the game. It's not really a game. There's no points. There's no scoring. We'll each answer. But like we said at the top of the show, not everything goes as planned. Sometimes you have to pivot. You get there, and it's closed. You get there, and you're like, yeah, I don't want to wait in that line.
It only happens every hour while you're at Walt Disney World.
So you always have to have in the back of your mind
backup plan,
what to do next. So here we go. We're gonna dive into this. I have a little list that I gave out in advance. There might be one or two surprises in there because someone made this quickly and hastily. All right. First up, I feel like this, of all things, is the biggest softball, meatball, whatever down the center of the plate. There is, just to kick it off. We'll start with Debbie, then we'll go Derek, and then myself. So you're headed to Aloha Isle. You tried to mobile order, but the app crashed. You get there, and the line wraps all the way around to the Country Bears. No Dole Whip for you. What do you do?
Well, this one is easy for me because I don't like Dole Whip.
Oh, well, that's not an answer.
Someone just turned off the show, by the way.
Okay.
We lost.
No,
we got a
no,
review. It's not 5 stars.
So, but I do have other people in my family who like Dole Whip, so this could still happen. So probably what we would do would be to head over for a citrus swirl.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where we've been hanging lately, actually, is the citrus swirl. And for whatever reason, that machine likes to go down a lot. So we have to pivot a lot on this one because it's not always up and running. But if we're at Dole Whip, it's not there. We're heading over to Citrus Swirl.
And that's where the orange bird lives. Yep. So you get a mascot. And Citrus Swirls are good. That's a great pivot plan. Derek?
It's a bummer because she took mine exactly. This actually happened on our last trip, and we're like, all right, I guess we're going to Orangeburg, and we were able to get in line because it worked out perfectly for us, and my kids love both of them. So if Dole Whip's down, my kids are going to go to Orangeburg. I might go get a pretzel, but for sure we are going to hit up one of the two.
So the proximity on your guys is fantastic. Yep. Quick pivot, it's right there.
Right.
The smoking area is no longer there. When it comes to snacking and me, distance does not matter. Now we're staying in the Magic Kingdom for this, but I'm going all the way over to Storybook Treats, right? Where you can get the Peter Pan float. It's like lime, but it's like Dole Whip, but lime.
Okay, yeah.
So I'm going it's like my Dole Whip float, but it's lime.
Yes.
So I will traverse the park for a snack. I'm willing. I'm not gonna just stay in Adventureland. I'm gonna head over and get the old Peter Pan float. I'm not sure if that's what it's called. Names are irrelevant. I point at the picture like that one, number 4. No, it's they will get you food no matter what.
That's a good choice. I think that's a good backup if you were looking for something like that.
That's my pivot. All right. Next up. You're in Tomorrowland. You're walking all the way to the back of Tomorrowland, and you get there and you realize everybody's turning around when they get to the front and Space Mountain. Space Mountain is down. It's the middle of the day. You were prepared to stand in line for anything. What are you doing?
I would go all the way back over and do Big Thunder. I know it's a long walk, and that really doesn't hold us back a lot. Like, we get our miles in the park. But if I was going to Space Mountain, I wanted a good thrill ride. My kids wanted to ride it. If we go over to Big Thunder, everybody's going to be happy, and they're going to feel like they got, a fun roller coaster experience.
That seems solid. I like it. Can't argue.
Yeah, that's not what I'm doing. So if I had $1 for every time Space Mountain has gone down while I've been at the parks, I would be able to buy at least 2 Dole Whips. So Space Mountain
That's
goes
a lot of
down. I
dollars.
know it is. I will go over to the People Mover and ride that. It's a little bit longer attraction. Might have to wait in the line for a little bit and then try Space Mountain again and hope that you can get in right when they reopen the attraction.
So you're kind of hovering.
Hovering in
while
Tomorrowland,
on,
absolutely.
keeping your eye on it.
Especially
Yeah,
if
you
it's
could
the
do
attraction
that.
you want to do. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
Both seem like really good answers. I would just go to Buzz because I don't ride Space Mountain anyway. So,
So now
I
does
think-
your family join you because they would be on
I
Space
don't care.
Mountain?
They can do whatever they want. My family can go do. They probably would. Probably go to Thunder or Splash. Probably Thunder all the way across. Say they had a lightning lane that turned into a anything lightning lane with restrictions. The lightning lane's not really for anything. They say it is, but then you got to read the fine print to make sure. But if space goes down, it's pretty much for everything but Mine Train. So they'd probably go over to Thunder.
Yeah.
I would see that if it's a day where we're actively trying to do lots of things. If it's a day where we're just taking it easy, it's the People Mover route probably would be where the family would vote to go, while I continue to shoot fake aliens with a fake laser. Well, no, it's a real laser. It is a real laser.
Someone's got to be
is.
Galactic
Yeah.
Hero.
Someone has to protect the galaxy.
It's not going to be me. I'm never successful at that.
Which, after the new Buzz movie, is really mind-boggling, the premise. Like, you're shooting at yourself if you're really Buzz
Wow,
Lightyear.
spoilers.
Woo!
I think by now you're
I think we
okay.
passed the statute
Oh,
of
okay.
limitation
Sounds
on
good.
spoilers.
I've only seen that movie
for-
107 times because it's my son's favorite movie, so we're good.
Okay. All right, moving on. You've entered the park early. You've rope dropped 1, 2, 3 or so attractions. You head back towards Main Street to get your caffeine for the day, and it turns out Starbucks is like, sorry, we're closed. Derek not allowed, or Joe bought all the coffee. I don't know. They're just not functioning, which, or more realistically, the line is to the train station. So you're like, well, Starbucks isn't going to happen. What do you do?
No problem. Move on. I don't drink coffee.
It's a good one.
Yeah, well, you know what? And I consulted the coffee drinker in this house and see if he would have a different perspective. And he was like, don't waste your time in Starbucks. Make your coffee in your hotel room and plug on.
There you go.
Smart.
Don't spend time in the line.
Yep. I like that. I understand that too. We have a following that seems to think Starbucks is important.
That's what I understand. Yeah.
Derek?
Really, I don't need coffee. I would just skip it. But if I'm with my wife, I have waited in a Starbucks line that's been all the way back to the train station. So it really depends. It's either if I'm there with you, Doug, we're good. We'll skip it all day, go do an attraction. But I'm not gonna lie. If I'm there with the wife and she wants to have Starbucks, I don't care how long that line is. I'm an annual pass holder. I can come back anytime. I will wait in that line for her.
So not really an answer. Got it.
Oh no, it's a good answer.
No, he's
I'm not.
saying
I'm
that
not
he-
doing.
Pivot, though.
Yep. No, I'm not. It's pivoting by waiting
He's
in
just
line
not
because I know
pivoting by-
Joffrey's
yes.
is not good enough at all. So pivoting by waiting in that line.
Is there really that big a difference between Joffrey's and Starbucks?
Oh, you ask my. Oh my gosh, that is our Twitter poll of the week. So I know my spouse and a few others will. Okay, I cannot wait for this one. So get online right now at Rope Drop Radio, all the things, and answer our poll: Starbucks or Joffrey's, and help Doug understand more.
See, I heard his answer as how supportive he was to his wife.
Yes,
right? Like,
that is it.
he would get in line, get the coffee, even though it's a crazy long line. So
Yep.
I thought that was thoughtful.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, sure. I pretty much just go to Starbucks for ice water. So I would just find the nearest open counter service, or maybe like go to Gaston's. If I'm looking for a snack from Starbucks, they have more than coffee. I don't know what you're in line for. Gaston's would be an option because evidently Joffrey's is swill. I don't know. That's what I'm learning. So we won't really have any good answers there. Evidently, people will just say, I'm getting in line. But
Yep.
what if it closed, Derek? What if it wasn't open?
Then we just skip it. and might
Okay.
get Joffrey's. We did that at Hollywood Studios one time where we got Joffrey's sometime during the day.
I liked Debbie's answer about just make it in your room. But
Yeah.
I know that's not
My
the-
coffee drinker husband, he likes the little, the little mixes, and he makes it in the room and goes. And he's done Joffrey's before too. He doesn't snub it. I guess you really need it.
All right, moving on from controversial topics that will probably get us ridiculed by the internet trolls. Anyway, on to a different one that could have impact. So there's going to be a ride that's going to be closing in probably January for who knows how long. They haven't really told us.
18 months, over under.
We don't know that it's
I'm
moving
just saying,
forward
that's,
yet,
no,
though.
that's what my guess. Sorry.
It could reopen after its regular refurbishment.
Okay.
We don't know yet.
Okay.
Or it could close and be totally new when it reopens. That's Splash Mountain. All right, so this might be one we need practice pivoting. You get to Splash Mountain, kids are excited about riding a log, and they can't. Where do you go to get the same excitement? What are you doing with your pivot?
Yeah, I think I have to do this regularly because, I may not want to ride Space Mountain that day. Like, it might be cold, or I don't want to
Splash
get wet
Mountain,
that
right?
day.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Splash
Splash Mountain.
Yep.
Yeah, so I might not want to ride it. So I got to try to convince my kids that that's not what they want to do and
Yeah,
pivot.
I understand.
And I think you can't go wrong with picking a mountain, really. So Big Thunder's right there. It's really close by. But I would say that we would be happy doing either Space Mountain or Big Thunder if Splash was not available. It's a good substitute.
Sticking with the mountains.
Yep.
I agree. Big Thunder, it's right there. Hard pivot. We've had to do it before when it's down. Yes, you might have to wait in line because everyone's doing that pivot, but it's just an easy one to do.
So for this pivot, we've rope dropped, or second rope dropped, Thunder, and then Splash still wasn't open because they'd like to open late. It's as if the Splash Mountain cast members have a different timesheet for the parks. Like, hey, the park opens at 9. And they're like, does it? I guess 9:25. So that's regular, even during busy times. I don't understand. So we've had to pivot, and a lot of times we've already gone on Thunder, and it's still not open. So we've gone to Pirates as kind of that next option pivot, especially if you've already done Thunder. So that's a little different level of attraction. It's still got a boat, and it still has a drop. You can sell it that way.
Yeah, and you could still get wet on it. Like, what is up with that lately?
I know. I seem to get it in the shoulder.
cannonball.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've gotten really wet on Pirates in the last year. That I'm like, what happened? It's so
Michelle literally got soaked one time, and it was the last thing we did before we left the park to go to dinner.
Oh.
And I was like, let's do Pirates.
So it's all Doug's fault.
It was 100% my fault, and I was bone dry. So
the last time we rode it, we huddle in fear now. Like, oh my gosh, just get through the scene with the cannonballs.
Makes it more authentic then.
It does. It does.
Cowering in fear. All right. Next up, it's firework time. You're planning on watching on the hub where it's the best. You see the projection, you see the fireworks, but it's completely full. Where do you pivot to watch the fireworks?
Okay, so I am not a big fan of hanging out in the hub for an hour waiting for my spot for fireworks. So I can see this happening where we just don't want to wait that long. So sometimes, we've caught a decent view on the bridge area, heading over to Liberty Square. So you're kind of only seeing half the castle. You still got a good shot of the fireworks. You're seeing some of the projections, and you can not have to stake out a spot really far in advance. So if it's full, it's not a bad spot to kind of pop over there and watch the fireworks from there.
That's not a bad one. And still see some projections. Okay.
Right.
Right, Derek.
If the hub is full, we're getting in there with some elbows and going to watch it from a weird distance in the hub area. We're the last ones to sneak in there, all crowd around. And yeah, that's what happens with us. But actually, the last few fireworks shows we've been watching from our resort or off Magic Kingdom property, whether it be one of the resorts around the Magic Kingdom. So the other smart idea,
That's
just
nice.
get away and get to one of the
Yes.
local resorts, Poly, Contemporary, and you can watch it fun there.
So the bus too. I mean, no.
Not
the
going to
lines
walk,
to the
that's
bus.
for sure. Yes, but you are definitely beating the lines to boat, monorail, whatever needs to be to get to where you can see the fireworks still, but have a good time and not be surrounded by people. But yes, I have elbowed a few to get around to see it. I know. I'm going to admit it.
Pet peeve, Derek weaseling his way after I've stood for an hour.
That's
Guilty,
what happens.
Derek.
Like I get so angry. Like I've been standing there and you're just trying to hold your spot, and it just
And
gets
then
me
your
all stressed
kid
out.
like stands up and spins in a circle, and then like someone's instantly there named Derek Sassman.
Yep, that happens.
It's nasty emails to that's Derek.
Yep.
Sassman.
There you go.
That's Doug.
For the record, I haven't done that for a long time, like pre-pandemic.
Okay. Let's see. So I was thinking the Tomorrowland Bridge. It's not the greatest view. You see some of the projections, but it definitely. So I've been there though when it's packed as well. But it is out of the hub a little bit, and it kind of gets you. Something. It's good for the fireworks.
It depends on what you're doing afterwards too, right? Like if your game plan is to leave, then that can make a decision where you're going to be. But if you want to do like some more rides, and you're right there on that bridge to Tomorrowland, you could get back in and try to get on a Space Mountain or something.
One great place if your plan is to leave is to watch from pretty much just in front of the bathrooms on the Tomorrowland side of the main street where they open up the back passageway, and then when it's over, you just down that back passageway. Actually, in the passageway, there's a couple little spots where you can see the castle really well. You're a long ways away, but then you're like the second person to the bus. The only people beating to the bus are the ones watching from like right in front of the train station. So that's
a good tip because
I like
that's
it.
worth it.
The back passageway, just to clarify, they open a gate that's normally for cast members between like
Tomorrowland
Terrace and the restaurant Plaza. So it's in between there. There's some bathrooms right there. You go behind all the shops, and you come out right in the
where
town
the theater
square.
was supposed to be.
Yes, where the theater was supposed to be, and you come out right there by the Mickey meet and greet in Tony's Town Square.
Yeah.
So, all right, just a little clarification. Good. All right, moving on. Everyone's favorite dark ride, named Derek Sassman, is Pirates of the Caribbean is closed. Derek can't go on it. What do you do?
Leave the park. Done. I'm out.
That's why we're not
Epcot,
asking you. That's why we brought on Debbie.
Yeah, I mean, I got to agree. This is a bummer. Like, if Pirates isn't, open and running, it's disappointing. But your next best attraction would be the Haunted Mansion because it kind of has the same vibe. It's kind of, it's an old school retro attraction. You get to sit down, you get the air conditioning if it's hot, and hopefully maybe by the time you get off Haunted Mansion, Pirates is back up.
We'll allow that.
That's a good one. I'm depressed because this goes down on me and I don't know what to do with the next, 30 minutes of my life. I go find a snack. So maybe it's Dole Whip. Maybe it's a pretzel. I will eat my feelings away, and hopefully Pirates comes back online. I'm just saying, this is what I do.
There's ways. There's other pivots.
There is, but I'm going to take a moment for myself because I'm frustrated, and I'm going to eat something to make me feel better. Okay. Maybe that's when I go in the Starbucks line because I'm already going to kill that time anyway. Who knows?
Oh, yeah. I think everybody should just pivot right on over to the treehouse.
That's terrible.
No, I'm joking.
Advice.
Don't
wrong.
do that. Don't ever.
That's the wrong answer.
The only reason you go in the Swiss Family Robinson treehouse, there's two reasons. One is you haven't gotten enough steps in for the day, and you need to get more steps in to meet your goal on your Apple Watch. That's one reason. There's only two reasons. Second reason is Swiss Family Robinson is your all-time favorite movie ever. It's the end of the list. So anyway,
one day, Doug, you and I are going to do a live podcast from the Swiss Family Robinson.
Maybe that's what our meetup will be in May.
Maybe.
No, I'm not. No.
You want people to come to it.
Yeah, that's the problem.
We do it before, and then we meet up after.
Okay. It'll be all hot and sweaty.
Perfect.
Drippy.
That's what our fans love.
It'll smell so good.
Yes.
So anyway, Pirates. If you can't go on it, I like the Haunted Mansion idea. I'm I'm going to see your Haunted Mansion, but I'm going to keep it a boat ride. I want to pivot to another boat. I'm going to own Small World. It's equally as scary. You can cower in fear, like we were talking about earlier. You hopefully won't get wet, but you never know. Never know. Yeah, you should know. You're not getting wet. But it is very exciting. Still a boat ride. Nice and lengthy. If you want to get off your feet, being air conditioned does similar sort of things. But I don't think
that's
like
solid.
Tiki Birds, like that's a different thing. And the other stuff around there doesn't equate. So it's not quite the same type of pivot. All right.
I agree.
Here's one off the list.
Ooh.
You tried to make a reservation at Cinderella's royal table, but it was full 60 days out, and you kept checking and you never got it. But you could book anything else at the Magic Kingdom for dining. What are you booking? What did you pivot to? This is in advance, of course, of arriving at the Magic Kingdom. But what was your pivot?
Man, so gosh, the Magic Kingdom is just so not impressive for a sit-down meal. So I'd probably go with Skipper's Canteen because it's usually easier to get a reservation for. The atmosphere is awesome. It's fun. The menu can be a little exotic, but they've got some things on there for that everybody can have, and you're sure to have a good time. Hopefully, you get a good server who's funny, and you'll enjoy your food.
I feel like you get out of the server what you put into the server. Like if you play along, they go more. Yeah. I know Derek doesn't agree at all.
0 for 3 on that restaurant.
He's a curmudgeon. Well, okay, you went there and then ordered a steak expecting yachtsmen.
I know.
That's on you.
Okay.
You don't. You go to Applebee's, you get a burger. You don't get the top tier steak, right?
Well, I'll tell you that we've just walked around the restaurant a little bit. Like, you've got some time while you're waiting for your food to come, and like in the bookshelves, there's so many little hidden things, like with the SCA and everything, that it's almost like its own attraction plus food.
Agreed. Derek will disagree.
I will agree.
Derek, what are you booking?
I'm going to go to Be Our Guest. You still want a little princess feel right there.
Oh, wow.
Then that is where you're going to go. It's also not far. So
it's the most frustrating princess feel, though.
It is, but if you're still
no princess.
There isn't, but you're still getting the feel, the castle feel to it. Okay. That is where I'm going, and price range, it's not far.
Disney's
off.
Still taking your money.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, for the kids, that's probably better because at Skipper Canteen, there's no fun princesses or people like that.
I'm going to say Skipper as well because I enjoy it. I think it tastes good. But I don't order the steak and then complain about the steak like Michelle and Derek.
I wasn't going to order the same thing you guys all ordered. That would be awkward.
But Michelle got the steak too. I don't know.
I've ordered the steak before.
If Doug orders something, I have to order something different so we can get different pictures for the podcast. Even if Doug's like, hey, you ordered what I wanted to. Okay, fine. I guess I'm getting something else. I always have a backup plan when I go to a restaurant with Doug.
You have a pivot?
Wow. I have a pivot. Actually, that is a very true statement whenever I eat with you.
Yep. Same here. Okay. But then there's times where I just want to eat what I want to eat. That's true. We've been there enough. It doesn't matter anymore. Okay. All right. Yeah. Needless to say, I think we all can agree eating table service in the Magic Kingdom, not that exciting. I know a lot of people love their Crystal Palace. God bless them if they're Winnie the Pooh fans. Whatever. Not me, but that's me. Okay.
Yeah.
Moving on. The old liver lips broke down. They put them in seasonal operation, which we all know is code words for finally closing. Country Bears. This is all projection, potential. I see it coming January 1st to a theme park near you. Anyway, Liver Lips is broken. Country Bears is closed. What are you doing, Debbie? Just going home?
I'm not just going home. So I am a fan of the Country Bears. I think that it's an American treasure. And there's some nostalgia there, and so for the Country Bears, if I was wanting to do that in the mood for that, I think Tiki Birds could work. It's close by, I can still sit down, but man, it's just not going to be as fun as Country Bears. But it'll be a decent substitute.
See, I disagree.
You
Tiki
can't sing it
Birds.
like you don't sing along.
Oh, Tiki Birds is
You
better
don't
than
sing
Country
along
Bears,
to
and that's
Tiki
where I'm
Birds.
pivoting to. Anyway, Tiki Birds all day. Team Tiki Birds.
I think this is going to be the first thing we all give the same pivot,
Okay.
but all on very different levels of reasoning.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
like you said, Debbie, it's kind of from the same era. It's the type of attraction that you take your children when they're young. They're like first or second time, and they come out and they go, "What was that?" Both times, because that's how they work. That's children can see right through the old nostalgia. Sometimes is just dated, but that'd be both attractions.
It's because you don't sing along at Country Bears, right? You're not slapping your leg with them.
I don't know why there's blood on the saddle, and I don't know why we're whipping Buford.
The fact that you
and
can't
none of it
drink,
seems appropriate.
like, you should be able to drink at that one location, Magic Kingdom, easy. Here's some moonshine when you walk in, and let's go.
Like Walt's Moonshine.
Yep.
And
you know how much
now
money
that
they
there's
would make?
liquor in the Magic Kingdom.
Yep.
That's one thing. I did enjoy the drink at Skipper's Canteen. It was very fruity, rummy. Great. Okay, anyway. But I would go to Tiki Birds, but on my way in, it's the one attraction you are allowed to take food and drink into legally, and that there's only one food or drink you can take in, and that's a Dole Whip or a Dole Whip float. So I would get my Dole Whip float. I'd go enjoy a tropical serenade while singing along. And yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah.
Tiki
Yeah,
Birds
it's
all
a good
day.
reason to be able to have a snack.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Which
I will tell you that so you got to do it right for your kids for the Country Bear. When you know you're in that pre-show area and on the floor there's the claw marks from the bears. So we would tell our kids when they were little, like, oh man, the bears are going to come out and get you. They've been walking all over these floors. And
It's a
so
parenting
get them
win
all
right
hyped
there.
up. You're not
Wow.
hyping them up enough.
I mean, I also wasn't trying to traumatize them at the same time.
enough.
So, I mean, whichever way you want to look at that, I saved the traumatizing for Tough to Be a Bug. But, oof.
Oh, right.
So.
Yes.
All right, there we go. Country Bears, had to get it in there for you, Debbie. Liver Lips is no more, though, in this show. All right.
Stop it.
The next one is you wanted some fish and chips at the Magic Kingdom, but you find out they closed at 4 for some reason. Like, the hours are silly. Always check the hours at all the parks. Sometimes places you planned on having dinner are closed at 5. That makes 0 sense, but anywho. Columbia Harbor House. Closed before you got there. What's your pivot for quick service dining?
I feel like, again, the limitations there in the quick service. So your next best bet is Pecos Bill, is my opinion. Head down there to Pecos Bill. It's not too far. It's got a good selection. Everybody likes Mexican. Kids are happy. Adults are happy. And you'll save your fish and chips for another day.
Solid answer. I did hear read on Twitter the other day some people complaining about how much Pecos Bills has gone downhill on the value because they used to be able to get this and then they made a salad from the condiment bar. I'm like, well, first of all, you're not supposed to make a salad from the condiment bar. Like, that's not why it was there. So did it go downhill, or did your just like misuse of condiments cause us all to lose condiments? Okay. I'm off my soapbox.
Maybe.
I originally had the same answer, but I'm going to pivot to be different. I'm going to go over to Cosmic Rays and eat the same burger that I've had 907 times. But I have had to do this exact pivot before with Columbia Harbor House. And you know what? If you don't want Pecos Bills, go over and eat with Sunny Eclipse.
Sunny Eclipse is a good call.
He is. He's a great guy. We're old friends.
One neat thing about Cosmic Rays is there's always like some special menu item. Like when it was the Incredible Summer, they had that Incrediburger.
Ate that
so
burger.
There was a stretch where I got the special burger like 4 or 5 trips in a row, and like my cardiologist finally was like, "That don't." Because what was the Incredible Burger? It was like
cheese on cheese.
Cheese. It was mozzarella sticks on the burger. And they were cold and hot at the same time. I don't even know. And then there was the one covered, this is recently, in Cheetos. Because it was like Mars, right? Yeah. That was not good either. I need to stop doing that. I do it for the listeners. I try it, and usually it's
for
a
the
thumbs
listeners,
down.
quote unquote.
The one or two of them that we do have. So it's, yeah. I'm gonna go with Pecos Bills. I struggle to eat anywhere else other than Pecos Bills or Columbia Harbor House in the Magic Kingdom lately. Yeah. We've done enough Cosmic Ray with Sunny Eclipse. My kids don't care if we see, so they're like, yeah, he's great, but we're not eating there. Pinocchio's is a no-go. We used to go there all the time when the kids were little, but now other people's kids are little, and I don't need to eat with them, if that makes sense.
Dude, I've eaten there like twice in my life. It's just crazy. I just don't want to.
That's a rope drop type of lunch. Yep. And you get a window, you can wave at Small World, which is fun when your kids are like 4, 5, and 6, right? Right. But 16, no. No, I don't think they're.
Well, plus, I mean, Pecos Bill, if I remember correctly, I think they still have burgers on the menu, don't they? So there's burgers and Mexican. Yep. So
nachos.
And a fajita I actually kind of like.
It's a pretty good menu.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
All right.
For the record, it is the worst photo menu ever in all of Disney. I took a picture for our last row. I took Callum, and I was like, I'm going to put this on Insta Stories. And I was like, oh, what am I showing?
Various shades of yellow.
Yeah.
And brown.
Yeah.
Not
and I do, I do miss the condiment bar there. I know that. I guess it's probably better off we don't have it. But they give you the burger now, and it's just so plain. And then you gotta get your little packets and try to make it. It's awful now.
I miss the like sautéed mushrooms and all that. Yes. It was great, and that actually was. And Cosmic Rays had one too, right? But we lost the condiment bars prior to COVID. A lot of people want to blame COVID, but we lost them before COVID.
I did not realize that.
Yeah. Huh. The Cosmic Rays one we lost well before COVID, I think. Pecos faded away. When they switched to the Tex-Mex restaurant menu, you lost the sauteed mushrooms, everything. The burger came back after COVID, I believe. So yeah. So it is rest in peace long ago. We can't even blame COVID. I think it's the abuse. People would come in and literally pile up shredded lettuce and then put some salsa on it and eat a salad.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why we lost.
Have these things.
Okay. Yeah. Yep. Thanks, people. We lost all our nice things. All right. This one is another dark ride. It's down. Haunted Mansion. Can't go in with our ghost host. What do we do? Where do we pivot?
Yeah, you go in a corner and cry.
Yep. That's what I wrote down.
Mansion.
Yep.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, this is hard. So, after I've cried, I think I'm going to go over to Small World because it's right close by. And then maybe it's a good long attraction. A little bit of a wait. Like if you're lucky, it's 10 minutes standby, 20 minutes of a ride. And then hopefully you get off and you go back and you check it, see if Haunted Mansion's back up.
Solid plan.
Yep. Whatever had a low line in New Fantasyland. So whether it be, it's not going to be Peter Pan, but it could be Pooh. It could be the Carousel. Something to just
none of those are in New Fantasyland.
Or just old Fantasyland.
Just Fantasyland.
Sorry. Yes, Fantasyland. Okay. Yes.
It is just Fantasyland.
You're right. I my bad.
They've dropped
anyway,
the new.
They
finally,
did. It's
7 years later.
But do something that does not have a long wait and then go back to check to see if Haunted Mansion is back up and running.
Checking weights. I like it. So I'm kind of doing a combo of what both of you said. We're going to leave Haunted Mansion, head into Fantasyland. If Small World's short, we're doing that. But the odds are if Haunted Mansion is down, the influx is going to go to Small World because it's just one bathroom away. All right. It's how you measure
one really
distance.
Good bathroom.
Yeah, it's how you measure distance in Disney is how many bathrooms will you pass. Standard unit of measurement. So that's one bathroom away. I'm going to go 2 bathrooms away to Little Mermaid, Adventures Under the Sea. It's a long title. Not Voyage of Little Mermaid, that's at Hollywood Studios, but I can't remember the name. But that ride, that will definitely have a short wait. Go over there. Hopefully Haunted Mansion's open back up. You come back, hit Small World, then Haunted Mansion. Because I think Haunted Mansion being closed is going to inflate the wait at Small World. So I'm going to just skip on past. I don't need to check an app. I am the app. I'm going to go go on over and then work my way back. That's my game.
That sounds
I like
good.
it. Yep.
Yeah. It's kind of both. All right, this next one also, I mainly picked things that was going to make Derek or Debbie sad. Gaston, he may decorate with antlers, but he forgot to order enough eggs to make his cinnamon rolls, and he is closed for the day. Derek, where are you pivoting to for breakfast?
Oh, you're not even going to Debbie first? You're going right to
Oh,
me?
Yeah, go ahead.
I meant Debbie.
No, it's
Okay, let's
okay.
get Derek first on this one.
This happened
Yeah.
to me on my last family trip, and I was angry. Like, I don't get angry. I was angry because the line was at least 50, 60 people deep, and I just could not. And it was rope drop. Like, I was there. Like, we did something and then went to Gaston's. And so I
the
pivoted.
word is out.
It has. I know.
Way to go,
Too many
Derek.
people like it. So we pivoted. I took my kids, and I think we went to Dumbo or something. I was just depressed for the next hour. And we did a couple of the nickel and dime attractions in Fantasyland. But I was, when this happens, it does definitely bug Derek. When I have my heart and soul and everything ready for a cinnamon roll, nothing will anger me more than a long line at Gaston's. It's true.
So you're not even going to try something else. You're just going to go.
No,
on
I'll
an
just
attraction.
I will go to an attraction, hopefully get my mind off of it, and then, lunch comes around and I'll eat, and hopefully that will take care of whatever craving food left I have in me.
It's so sad.
It is, but it's true. It has happened on a couple trips.
Okay.
All right, Debbie, what would you do?
Well, I appreciate the cinnamon roll a lot too. I don't get it very often. So I was thinking if I was in the mood for a cinnamon roll, maybe I could go over to, I think it's like Cheshire Cafe. They have those cattails over by the teacups. And it's not going to be as good as Gaston's. I know it's not, but I'm not willing just to give up and not eat anything. I want something.
I did.
I like that.
I could get.
I did try one at the bakery once, and that was a swing and a miss too.
You got the special, the 50th anniversary
50th
or
one.
something. It was
no.
like Mickey shaped at Starbucks.
Gaston's is Gaston's.
Well, Gaston's was supposed to, their cinnamon roll was supposed to replace the cinnamon roll you used to get at the Main Street Bakery before it became Starbucks. It's not the same, trust me. The one that they used to have was like gooey and soft and perfection, like undercooked.
Yum.
That's what Doug likes. Where Gaston's, they actually cook the cinnamon roll. But yeah, those are good option, Debbie. I like the cattail. That's a good idea. I am gonna be like, well, I see my sugary sweetness going away at Gaston's. I'm gonna go back into the Storybook Circus, into the Big Top Treats and Sweets, I think is what it's called. I don't know. The confectionery counter where they have every sugary delight under the sun, from caramel apples to fudge to marshmallow wands,
Cupcakes.
Yeah, all the things. And I'm just going to give in to the dessert for breakfast at that moment.
That sounds good. But does anybody else ever kind of just forget about, we're going to say New Fantasyland? Do you just forget that whole wing is even over there? I
Multiple
forget
times.
that's an option.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think about that confectionery thing. I enter the park and I'm like, maybe we'll go back there. Maybe my wife will buy me a treat. She likes her confectionery counters, and I'm thinking I'd rather get it in the back of the park, sit in that little tent and eat it.
The only time I go back there is when I record with you, Doug.
Yeah, that's because I like that area of the park. It's great.
I forget about it.
Maybe when the train comes back up and we can get off at the train station.
And
Is
the
there going to be a
character
train
meets.
station?
Wait, there's a train?
Well, it's this old archaic thing.
Allegedly.
Used to pull people
Train.
around.
Let me Google. I'm gonna
Clockwise circle.
Googling that real quick.
There used to be back in the day.
Speaking of trains.
Okay, Debbie, who's been around below 25 years, there's part to go. Okay.
All right. Speaking of trains, it's time to get to the Magic Kingdom or leave the Magic Kingdom, and the monorail is down. You have two options, really. Three options. You have the ferry boat. You have the little boats to resorts, or they're going to throw a bus out there. Or, as another option, you can walk to the Grand Floridian and then walk to the Poly, and even walk to the TTC, or walk to the Contemporary and get an Uber. No. Lots of options. What are we pivoting to when the monorail's down, which is the most magical form of transportation when it's crowded?
It is. Yeah, I mean, I think you have to go for the boat. And we all love the monorail, but I mean, the boat takes a ton of people, right? And sometimes that line looks really long and big, and then everybody gets on the boat and you get over there and it's not as long as you think it might be. So I don't want to walk, that's for sure. So we're taking the boat.
Especially now that you can load the top and the bottom at the same time. It's pretty fancy.
Yeah.
Good job, Disney engineering.
I agree completely with the boat every time. It's kind of magical, too. It's peaceful. You get like 10 minutes of just...
It is.
Yeah.
Nice little breeze, and you can relax. I update social media. It's great.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I agree. We take the ferry regular with the monorail. Something about being in the cabin all smushed in there with everybody's stench. I didn't like it before COVID. This isn't a COVID thing. I just need people.
Definitely
I'd rather be in the open air. The walk is long to the Grand Floridian. In the midday sun, it's really not fun. I will tell you that. Yeah. I did a live Patreon, live stream for the whole walk. I almost felt sorry for them watching me sweat.
Oh, gosh.
It was brutal. Yeah. All right. And that is our game of if not this, then that. Now, Debbie did the lightning round way back on episode 67. That's like the Stone Age of Rope Drop Radio.
Yeah.
So
that was when the original questions were there.
Yeah.
Not the new ones.
They've been enhanced. So then for a while when people were back on their second time, we were doing Armchair Imagineering. And I've kind of failed to do that the last year and a half. So we have one quick Armchair Imagination question for you. You can add one attraction to the Magic Kingdom, but it's got to replace one. What do you add and what do you cut?
All right. So I don't profess to be a good Imagineer. I don't think that's my wheelhouse. So this is tough for me. But I don't think you're going to get a lot of hate over this, but maybe I'm wrong. I would take out Swiss Family Treehouse.
Oh, no.
What?
And
Boo.
yeah,
Yes.
right. Nobody likes to go on it anyways. And I would throw, and this is never going to happen, but I would throw an Indiana Jones attraction in there.
Yay!
Now, me personally, I would love the one from Disneyland because it is so fun. I love it so much. I don't think they're going to do that. No. But they could do some kind of Indiana Jones attraction, especially with supposedly the new movie coming out, kind of see what we can fit back there. Just something better than the treehouse. You got some space.
No, I like it.
The roller coaster they have in Paris doesn't take up a lot of space. It's got a small footprint.
Yeah. Yeah, and I was thinking about that. Or there's a small one. It's not an Indiana Jones one at Tokyo Disney Sea, but it's got an inverted loop, and it's really tiny. I think it's Peril or something like that. But yeah, something small that could fit in there, but maybe a little bit thrill. It could add to that side of the park and give people a reason to go on that side to rope drop.
All right. I like it.
There you go.
All right. There we go. And that does it.
Awesome.
Derek, take us away.
Thank you, Debbie. Take a minute right now. Tell people where they can find you, follow you. You do a lot of fun things at the park, so I'm sure everyone wants to know more about you guys.
Well, probably easiest is just Twitter. I use it for my Disney fix. So I'm at D Raises, like Debbie, D Raises. So yeah, you can find me on there.
Yep, love communicating with you on all things Disney. Great source, and as well as your husband and family, so always fun to follow along And so if you guys want to do more Walt Disney World stuff, you need to book a trip right now. Go to touringplans.com/travel. Let them know that the Rope Drop Radio guys sent you there. And then also we have some questions from this week's episode that we'll be asking on all of our social media platforms at Rope Drop Radio. So you can follow along and let us know what we got right, what we got wrong, what you'd pivot to, so we can learn more and do this better, because we got to go to Epcot, Hollywood Studios, and Animal Kingdom still. But that is all the time that we have. So thank you guys so much. Be sure to support the show on Patreon. We're going to record that episode next, so that will be in the show notes as well. But for Debbie and Doug, I'm Derek. You've been listening to Rope Drop Radio.